What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Mixplanation video. So in this type of video, I basically explain the mix I just made for you guys. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Now you may be wondering, why did you play these two songs at the same time? And why did you play it from cue point A on deck number 1 and cue point H on deck number 2? What's the logic behind it? Well, the thing is, I'm going to activate slip mode on deck number 2 by pressing this button over here. And the reason why I'm going to use slip mode is because I'm going to do a scratch routine that involves me scratching the platter with this acapella over here. And cue point H to cue point G is about 16 beats, and cue point A to the start of the song, which is the one with the kick and the snare, is also about 16 beats. But you may be wondering, how the heck is there slip mode on the DDJ-400? Well, the thing is, I mapped it. So what I did was basically reprogram this button over here to slip mode. And I did that because I personally find these two buttons here to be completely useless for my needs. So with that said, let's move on. See, slip mode is now activated, and no matter what you do to the audio file will still continue. Here, listen closely. So I pressed cue point A many times and the track still continued right when I let go of cue point A, and that's the whole beauty and advantage of using slip mode. Now we're getting pretty close to cue point G, which will now touch at this area over here. And when we reach this area over here, we're gonna do some cool scratches. And those scratches are reverse stabs, reverse chirps, pullbacks, and transforms. So I'm not gonna press any cue point buttons over here. I'm just going to scratch right away because that's how I programmed this routine to be. Now, you may be wondering, wait a minute, you just explained a lot of things, but you did not explain what the heck are we doing? What's the point of this routine? And why are there so many songs in this audio file? Well, let's first answer the last question. Now, what you're looking at over here is an edited audio file containing all the songs for this routine, which I call the O wordplay routine, because all these songs have the word O, and all these songs are connected because of those words, which are O or O-O. And that is why I linked them all together in this song, because I wanted to create a mashup medley of the songs that contain the word O. And this is called a wordplay routine because we're messing around with words, trying to link songs together by using words. So the previous song has to have the same word or start with the same word as the next song will start with. That's why in the beginning you hear the words oh 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 oh, and now we're going to scratch oh 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 oh, the acapella, which is Never Leave You by Lumidi. Now you may be wondering, how did you put all of these songs together into one audio file? Did you use Ableton? Did you use Logic? Did you use FL Studio? No, I used the microwave. Just kidding. What I did and what I used was Rekordbox DJ. And what I did was pretty simple. First, I just pressed record on the software. Then I played these parts individually. So I played this song first, stop the deck, load the next song, play that part again, stop the deck, load the next song, play another part again, and so on and so forth. So I basically got the parts that I needed to do this routine. And I did this for convenience. Because if I did not do this, then I'll be browsing, looking for the song, pressing load and queuing it up, and that just takes too much time and effort. And when you're making a routine as fast and as furious as this, you need to have your songs ready, and that's why I put all these songs together into one audio file. And you can do it yourself with your own DJ software. Just press record, record the parts of the song that you want, and stop recording and just cue point the necessary parts where you need it to be. And as you see here, from A to H, we have cue points everywhere. So cue point A is the first song, which is Crazy in Love. Cue point B is the word remix. Cue point C is the oh part by Lumidi. Cue point D is the next song, which is called Where the Party At. There's also some O words in there as well. And cue point E and F are some secret parts, some secret words that I also cue pointed as well, which are O and O. Anyway, let's proceed with the routine. So now we're going to do the scratchy part with slip mode activated. Let's check it out. So as you see, no matter what I do to the platter, the track still continues on. The pullbacks really add a certain flair to this scratch. It gives the scratch some funkiness. But all I'm really doing is just a simple scratch pattern that involves pullbacks, transforms, stabs, and reverse chirps. It's very not simple. It's actually quite complicated. But what I want to say is that if you're going to do a scratch routine, you don't have to use all the scratches you have in your knowledge to be a cool scratcher, to just sound dope. No, the best thing that you can do as a scratcher who wants to do a scratch routine live in front of an audience is have a set scratch routine and pattern and structure in mind. And as you heard here, I'm just following the same pattern over and over again. I'm giving musicality to this scratch. So when you do a scratch routine, please don't just freestyle it. And don't freestyle it live as if you're in your bedroom if you're going to be doing this in front of people. No. Know what you're going to do. Put intention with your scratch, put structure in your scratch, and know what scratches you're going to perform and in what way and in what pattern. Rehearse before doing anything else, because that's what I did when I made this routine. So you hear the words no. Now we're going to trigger the words remix, which will be at cue point B, and I'm letting you know, if you're part of the audience, that what I'm going to do now is a live remix, a live mashup. So I just wanted to let the audience know that something amazing is about to happen, because I could technically do this without triggering the word remix, but you have to always underestimate your audience's musical knowledge and musical attention. So I really wanted to let them know that I'm going to do a wordplay mashup routine remix, whatever. So let's continue on. I'm going to do just a very simple scratch, which are the chirp scratches. Echo is activated on deck number 2, and now we're going to trigger cue point C and scratch in Oh by Alicia Keys, which is really called the No One Acapella. So here we go. Now this part here will have no uh-ohs. It'll just be a complete instrumental. That was a baby scratch. Again, just keep it simple. Now, I just scratched in cue point C, but if you noticed, I am still jog wheeling because I don't have perfect timing. I am not the master of releasing samples on time with the beats. So when you scratch or play an acapella, always make sure to be ready to jog with it forward or backward to make it in sync with the currently playing song. Now I triggered the echo effect on deck number 1 instead of deck number 2 because I am going to echo this song away and play the next song, which again involves the word O. Let's give it a listen. Cranked it up, and I cranked it up because I want you to hear that lingering echo effect, because if there's just going to be silence, it's not gonna sound nice. So we have to have an echo effect there just to smoothen out the transition. Now we're going to play and trigger cue point D, and we're going to play it by simply again doing another baby scratch. Now, keep in mind what he's saying. He's saying, oh, 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 oh. Now, to make this routine have more flair and just to make it sound even more cool, I thought to myself, wouldn't it be cool if Alicia Keys also said, uh-oh? But the problem is that this a cappella of Alicia Keys, which is no one, there's no part there where she says, uh-oh. And I was like, that's a problem. But I came up with a solution, which is by finding parts in the a cappella that start with and parts that sound with and those are cue point E and F. So here she says and at cue point F she says O. So we have the word uh-oh. And I recorded it individually because I wanted to hear an isolated and an isolated O. That's why they're here and that's why they're separate. And that's why I have cue point E and F in this one audio file. So let's see what I do with those cue points. So it's a pretty way to integrate the previous song with the currently playing song in a wordplay manner. So don't limit yourself just to the words in the a cappella you have. You can also just chop it up and break it down and play them to create a connection with the currently playing song and the previous song.